Thank you, Dr. Well, not a doctor, right? Robert
Depends
Scott
on who
Bell.
you ask. I'm a homeopath for over 30 years. Yeah.
Okay, so you're a homeopathic doctor as well. I know that I've listened to your shows forever. You've been doing the Robert Scott Bell show for since 1999, and you've interviewed best of in the health arena. So it's you have a lot of informational knowledge that you've shared with the world. And that's really what it's about. Yeah, you actually were in my talk yesterday as the first time you've heard me speak because I've never been interviewed on your show yet.
Oh, yet is the operative word.
So thanks for coming and being on our show. This is the Everything's Energy show or the Energy Enhancement show.
Hmm.
And appreciate you being here because it is all about sharing the knowledge and
Hmm.
sharing the information, sharing the energy. Because I like to talk about the only thing beyond love is more fully shared love
Mm,
and share, share, share.
beautiful.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to share today?
Well, the electrical reality of our essence is something I love to talk about. As a homeopath, of course, we work with energy, the essence of energy preceding the material world even. And what we're doing with homeopathy is stimulating, let's say intelligence to
Yeah.
do what it's designed to do, what it's supposed to be doing, and somehow it's gone off course a little bit. So it's not violent or forceful. It's actually quite loving, I believe. And this concept of energy. When people say they're out of energy, have you ever heard them say they're out of molecules? No, they would say
Or
I'm out of
are they
energy,
out
right?
of mitochondria,
Yeah, or that. Yeah.
mitochondrial
The
activity?
thing is, we know that there are elements, there are minerals and metals that are really conducive and conductive that are critical.
Electrolytes, that's
Yes.
most people are absolutely
Hmm.
deficient
Oh, yeah.
in electrolytes, the potassium, but also the trace minerals, which are so absolutely vital
Hmm.
for all the levels and layers of function of consciousness in the body.
Correct. Yeah. So in order for communication to occur, which is signaling, it's impulses, it's a lot of ways to describe it, you have to have things that will conduct those signals to send them, transit them, allow them to reach where they need to reach. And that ultimately might be our own consciousness or lack thereof. We are so deficient in, those minerals that we end up saying we're out of energy, which is true, but it's just the flow of energy is blocked, right? The energy in the universe is
Chi,
abundant.
the
We're the
key,
key, the chi. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, light force. I like to
The
talk
life
about
force,
light
vital
force,
force.
life force,
Mhm.
energy.
Yeah. So we look at that and say, man, it's the essence of everything. Yet here we are taking substances, thinking they're going to give us energy. What they're doing, if they're the right substances or elements, they're going to allow for the free flow of that energy that has been blocked or it's just unable to be transmitted because the minerals aren't present. And I talked extensively in my talks about silver and copper
Yeah.
specifically. How silver is the most conductive metal that we know of, yet it is feared, I think wrongly so, in terms of a harmful metal, whereas there are very deleterious, dangerous metals like mercury and cadmium and arsenic and lead and aluminum.
Aluminum,
Exactly.
like what's being sprayed, the
Yeah.
high, everybody's, and when they look at the brains, it's high aluminum
Hmm.
levels. And that's where our technology too, it excels at, supporting the body and the heavy metal detox and
Wonderful.
things like
So
that. And then
important.
the nerve cell regeneration, quadrupled
Right.
mitochondrial activity. That's
Yeah.
your ATP production.
Yes.
Quadrupled mitochondrial activity is what we saw in the pilot say with 9 people in 1 hour with
Hmm.
our technology. I don't think I talked about that
No.
yesterday, but
Well, and that's the thing.
that's energy.
The obstacles, we talk about obstacle to cure in homeopathy, but the obstacle for energy flow, free flow, these heavy metals are really, serving as blockages to the free flow of electrical, activity. And when we talk about the electron transport chain itself, what do we go through? Copper, copper. And
Copper.
copper has been much maligned by medical morons for a long time.
Well, like silver has
Like
been. They
silver
got
has, yeah.
people afraid of it, but it
Yeah.
literally shreds viruses and things. It'll
Yes.
shred it. I
And,
mean, people don't know that. It's
and it
and there,
facilitates
yeah.
the regenerative capacity of the body.
Yeah, it literally, like it talks about our technology activating and mobilizing the stem cells. Well, the silver, people don't realize it's
Mhm.
not just a natural antibiotic, so to
Yes.
speak, but the silver is also critical for supporting stem cell
You got that.
regeneration.
Along with copper, both of
Yeah.
those have some crossover proproperties here that are
And
quite
gold is
gold as
another.
well. Yes. So we
Very
got the
healing for the the third eye, but
right.
also the melatonin production.
Hmm.
And so all of these work to really support, and by using an EE system, they want to have these elements available to the body so the body can heal itself.
Hmm. Yeah, and the noble metals, amazing, right? You
Yeah.
mentioned silver, copper, and gold, and
Hmm.
they have such profound properties. Now, the question is, can we find them in the right bioactive, bioavailable form? Do we take them in the right amount? And, that's where I kind of
Yeah.
focus point as a homeopath. I try to get the most benefit from the least amount of input, and
Yeah.
that's where we talk about salt chemistry or even colloidal chemistry, how it plays out. It's not about taking too much. That can be problematic as well.
Well, yeah, there's so many supplements, and people, we were talking about protein powders with Dr. Sharon Winters and how that can line the arteries because it's dead. And so a lot of the supplements, I say probably 95% of the supplements are either less than beneficial or downright detrimental because it's just more stuff
Hmm.
for the body to try to deal with or cope with. So
Yes.
you want to get things that that are bioactive,
Hmm.
that the body can assimilate. Everything's assimilation. And if you can't assimilate or use it, then the body's going to, it's just more stuff that the body's trying to cope with,
Process, detoxify. Yeah.
along with the toxins in the environment and heavy metals and everything else that we're exposed to. And then it creates more stress.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly right. So then we have to remove that, again, that interference, additional interference. Now, it's one thing to have to counteract the drugs of modern medicine, right, which are bad enough. But if you're taking things that you think are good for you and you find out they have limited bioavailability, bioactivity, then it becomes a wasteful effort, maybe not as toxic as the drugs, maybe in some cases, possibly too. But the idea is finding out the things that are viable, usable by the body. And that means also the form has to be right. So it isn't just about taking something, it's about doing the research and finding out what is the form of that, what is the quantity of that. And it
Mm-hmm.
might differ from person to person. That's,
And
bioindividuality.
more isn't always better.
Correct. Yes.
The
Yeah.
Americans, we think the more that you take of something, the better. But
Hmm.
sometimes that homeopathic principle is
Yes.
the maximum benefit from the least amount of
Exactly. Exactly.
interference.
So when we talk about energy, again, production, is it production or is it transmutation? Is it receiving the energy that exists and pre-exists our material world? And what is the transducer? What is the go-between? What is the interface between those two worlds, the
When
material, physical,
understanding
and
the body electric, and
yeah,
everything is
exactly.
electrical in the
Hmm.
body, and
Yeah,
that's everything is that
right.
superconductivity is an
Yes.
aspect of scalar that we
Hmm.
talk about. That's your cell signaling, that's everything.
Hmm.
And we want the wiring of the body to be being
Exactly.
able to use the energy with
Right.
that
What
that
is it?
advanced that advanced cellular communication,
Mhm.
but the conductivity.
Yes. What is it about chiropractic that's so unique and so brilliant? It's not giving you energy, but it's removing the interference
The
for the free
impedance.
flow, right, of
Mhm.
that energy. And so
Yeah,
once again,
coherence,
mhm,
creating coherence through
mhm,
the system, which
yeah,
is the right minerals are going to help create that
exactly.
coherence.
Yeah.
Coherence is a very, very important principle in electrical engineering.
Hmm.
That coherence is that space where there's no impedance,
Correct.
no
Yes. Yes.
no circuit jams,
Yes. Exactly.
where the body's not short circuiting
Hmm.
and misdirecting that impedance
Hmm.
or the subluxations in chiropractic because the nerves all run through the spine.
Right. The free flow, the lack of obstacle, or the reluctance, if you will, of the energy to flow is not because the energy doesn't want to flow; it wishes to flow, but it hits something that impedes its flow, and we
Yeah.
need to remove that. We need to provide to the body the things that help facilitate that flow, but also recognize there's a lot of things there that shouldn't be there, and that's part of the process of genuine, I'd say, healing on a holistic basis.
Like to call it too, advanced transfer velocity, neurotransfer velocity
Hmm.
is a
Nice.
technical term, neurotransfer velocity, increasing and
Very
enhancing
cool.
that. But that's our cellular communication and cell signaling and then giving the body what it needs to activate and mobilize the body's stem cells
Yeah.
because that's how the body heals anything.
Correct. Yeah. Replace the injured old senescent cells when need be, because that's the process of aging, is degenerating faster than we regenerate. And the argument is that as you age, you regenerate slower. Well, I would argue that it says you become more toxic and deficient in the things that precipitate or follow or allow for the flow and the replenishment.
It creates more impedance.
Exactly. So, you want to stay young. Like people say they want to stay young, but they don't really know that it's not genetic engineering that's going to keep them young. It's about how did they regenerate faster than they degenerate. And I come back to the noble metals like you also referenced, silver, copper, and also gold, playing a part there. But so many of these essential elements are there to what? Facilitate that. Now, we could talk about fat too. You know how fat has been vilified in the 20th century and people are still afraid of fat, low fat, no fat? And like,
Look what they've done with statins. You
Yeah.
require the cholesterol for the brain to function.
Well, insulation to the cell. Once again, for the free flow of movement, not the dissipation of energy, we have to have insulation. That's the fat. And we're so afraid of fat. Even saturated fat is essential for life and our cellular integrity. Again, the body electric, coming back to that, it's all about that. But you have a wire that is not insulated, it dissipates the energy. It dissipates the energy so randomly and not in a discordant fashion, if you will, not facilitating that free flow that we keep talking about here.
Yeah. And that's our light force, life force, chi, ki, and the breath of life, literally that life energy to flow through all the microcirculation and everything in the body. These bodies are just such miracles.
Yes, vital force, we call it in homeopathy. And there's a loss of knowledge in the West when we all become materialistic reductionists and collectivists and not recognizing that the vital force is vitalism as far as healing. It doesn't, mean we have to surgically go in and alter your mitochondria with a needle and a thread, right? That's absurd. It knows what to do. We just got to either get out of the way and allow it to happen, get the things that are impeding it, or providing the things that we know facilitate it. And then we come back to more deeper level consciousness perspectives on mission and purpose. Because without mission and purpose, people will find a way to decay and degenerate and die. Because it's like, what's your purpose for being? Oh, I don't know. And you wonder why you're depressed. But when you have a mission or purpose, suddenly the life force, the vital force is flowing and it's going. And you're like, whoa, I got more than I can know what to deal with because I'm just so on fire in that sense.
It's about being on purpose.
On purpose, yes, exactly.
On purpose.
Yeah.
Or I did a lot of work with Dr. Wayne Dyer, that power of intention.
Yes.
And that came out of a session in the EESystem years ago. Wayne, it's all about the power of intention. That became his most important work. And so I highly recommend that brilliant work that he did, because it's all about the power of intention.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. And sounds, if we look at other therapies, utilizing sounds, that's why, some of the sacred ancient chants, whether it be Gregorian or otherwise, there are many things that are just profound when you're in the presence of certain sounds or you generate those sounds, how it opens up pathways of functionality and again, allows the free flow of energy. So here we're not even talking about replenishing minerals in some sense. It's like life force to life force directly through utilizing what we can do with sound. Resonance, yeah.
Yeah, cellular resonance and the importance too of opening up all those neural pathways. I talked about right-left brain synchronization, but also opening up all those neural pathways when you go out of fright, flight, or fight mode to where your body can actually respond from a place of centered.
Yes. You want to get back into growth and healing, parasympathetic. These are the things that can help you get there. So you have a lot of tools. For those of you who don't know, you have a lot more tools that don't require a doctor outside of you to tap into, utilize. Yes, there are technologies like the EES that we're talking about, but the ability to breathe, breath work and sound work, all of these things, chanting, mantras, whatever you want, prayerful words that uplift you. These are things that are intangible yet very tangible to those who do it, practice it. And then suddenly you say, my gosh, I'm enlivened, I'm enlightened. Why? Because you've engaged in singing the songs of divinity, of love.
Of love, but divinity, that we are powerful, infinite sons and daughters of God.
Amen.
And Christ said everything he did and more we're to do. We can move mountains with a mustard seed of faith. we're not limited to moving mountains. I think we've got a whole world that needs some healing.
Mm.
And guess what? Tag or it, the
Yeah.
part of God under our nose. Gotta
Yes.
love that part, because then you've got the love to share. So love your body temple, love yourself, love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Yes.
Otherwise, what are you going to share?
Yes. Yes. What gives you life is also what heals you. And I always say on my show, the power to heal is yours. It's just much as a reminder for me when I was disempowered by the medical community to say it's a random act or it's bad genes, bad luck, and what a victim state of consciousness that is. That's no fun. Realizing that you have, when you tap into the source of all life, you tap into imagination, you tap into creativity, and then you can out-create the baddest of bad guys in those circumstances
It's
when
a
you
very
recognize that.
creative planet here.
Yeah.
The
Very
free
much so.
will zone. It's a very creative planet. But if we have access to unlimited power, infinite intelligence,
Mhm.
and unconditional love, what's the problem? It can all be easy. Our greatness, I feel, our greatness is in the allowance of that unlimited power and light and love to flow through us freely, and let that work
Yes.
and share our light, because we really are bodies and beings of light. I know that was the first time you ever heard me speak. What was there anything particular that you found
Well, you
interesting?
know what lights me up all the time? Anytime I hear you say, about this energetic system that we are in fact that, and that there's a way to cross over into the technological realm. It's not all bad, right? We utilize these things for good or bad, and to embrace the how do we uplift? How do we enhance, right? With technology. It's not, I don't think technology is going away, but a lot of
No.
people are frightened or fear of it.
I was asked to create the counterpoint
Exactly.
in
Yeah.
meditation,
Yeah.
but I was asked to create the counterpoint to all the abuse of Tesla's work.
Yeah.
And the request was that there's so much technology being weaponized
Yes.
against us
Mhm.
that somebody had to do the counterpoint. And I'm
Yeah.
going, why me, God? Well, who else is going to do it?
Well, I think that you
I said,
nailed it.
okay.
That's what for me is the most exciting thing when you related that, and that's the important, because I know that message is so vitally important, and we must all work together to balance that out, right? Because it's part of the creativity of being a human and our access to that kind of information to bring it forward onto the physical plane. But again, what do we do with it? Do we do it to destroy, or do we do it to uplift and heal and regenerate?
Yeah. And override all the detrimental energies, destructive, detrimental fields.
Right.
Override it all with a higher power.
Yeah.
The power of love.
Yeah. Well said. Yeah. I love it. Vitamin L. That's what we need more of.
Yes, what the world needs now. Love, sweet love. So thank you for sharing all your light and love and wisdom, and been sharing it so well for so long.
Well,
Really
I'm honored and
appreciate you.
grateful that I can share it a little bit more, and thank you for all that you're doing as well. And you guys are always welcome to come on to my show at robertscottbell.com. And I know, like I said, we're going to get you interviewed. We'll get you to share your story a little bit.
Maybe
And,
tomorrow.
yeah, that's right. So I'm hoping today even, but
Oh,
here we go. We
okay.
can squeeze it in. So let me know.
Okay, appreciate it, and love the chance that we've had today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.